Hi, welcome to Board Game Animal. My name is Justin, and today we're going to be taking a look at Guildlands, a new game from Outset. In this tile layer, you'll be playing a puzzly game, laying out your tiles to form patterns, continue to grow the city, and eventually you're going to be scoring things in the city that you are all collectively building. In this sense, it feels very familiar. However, in a crazy, nice twist, everyone at the table is going to be playing with asymmetric factions. But that raises the question, what's different? Not the gameplay, but instead the endgame scoring. This adds a really intense layer of decision making in each move, simultaneously trying to meet your puzzly goals while not contributing to your opponent's success. I personally love games like this, when you are playing in a shared space. However, what you're doing in that shared space is not just some race to see who can do better in the same lanes. Now, here's another side point I want to talk about before getting into Guildlands. When it comes to tile placement games in general, there's a very specific branch of them that I personally enjoy. A lot of Knizia ones, or ones in that style, kind of like Bebop from Bitewing. The tile placement games in the vein of Carcassonne, for example, are really not my cup of tea. They're just okay. They're hit or miss. Some are good and I enjoy, and some are just fine too, something I wouldn't want to revisit. Adding a tile on your turn to a shared space and manipulating things in a way to try to outscore someone in that shared environment, it's just not my thing. But with Guildlands, the fact that A, you're not competing for the better outcome, you're competing for a wholly different outcome, and B, the factions in the box having such variety that even after repeated plays, it still is going to feel fresh and interesting, both make this one really stand out for me in this genre. The base game comes with 6 factions in the base box, and I think they're really interesting. To see how they interact with each other, and again, keep each play thought-provoking, because another interesting strength of this game is the relative simplicity of the rules in each turn, contrasted with the intricacies and details of the scoring. That's another interesting part of this game. You have to be really paying attention. You want to be balancing out the moments where you choose to adjust something that's already out there in your favor without allowing someone else to get ahead of you because they're going to be placing another tile. Because maybe on this turn, expanding for new opportunities would suit you better than adjusting something out on the field already. And there are interesting decisions to be made where it's moving your workers to prevent tiles from being moved, manipulating the structure of the city itself in order to reach your goals, while also, again, paying attention to what your opponent is doing. So, based on all this, coming down on this score-wise is interesting to me. While this branch of tiling isn't usually my go-to, the cleverness of the asymmetry, I would say, makes this my go-to for this kind of tile-laying game. And somewhat of a Carcassonne killer, in a sense. I'm settling in at a 7.5 on it. But if you're someone who already enjoys games like Carcassonne, or games in that vein, higher than that score, this would probably be a solid bump up for you because of the spice that this game adds to an already tried and true and much enjoyed mechanism. If you've had a chance to play Guildlands, I'd love to hear your thoughts below, or if you have any questions for us, please leave them down there. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. And a huge thank you to our friends over at Outset for sending us the review copy of this. They are continuing to bring some great games out into the hobby. Please make sure to check them out. And don't forget to always play board games like an animal.